And here we go. Hello, loves. Deanna here from Deanna.org. Welcome to this special edition podcast with Cate Petersen from SoulAdvisor. I just realized that I misspelled your surname.
Oh,
My,
no.
well, yeah. My apologies for that, but welcome, Cate. The reason why we are having this podcast just really quickly is because I invited Cate to talk a little bit about the Awaken Gathering that is happening next Sunday, the 26th of March. Let me get that right. It's Awaken Wellness Gathering at Peninsula Hot Springs down just past Melbourne. I'm going to take part in it as one of the practitioners available in the a healing hub, healing and wellness hub. Is that what we are calling it?
Correct.
And Cate is part of the SoulAdvisor team that's collaborating with the or partnering with the organizers of the event to bring this extraordinary, I want to say, groundbreaking event to all of us here in Australia. Welcome, Cate.
Thank you so much. You know, it's terribly tempting to call it a festival, but we're not allowed. The reason it will feel like a festival, it's only one day, and it's not a festival. It's a wellness gathering that will lead up to the actual 2-day festival in March 2024. So that's why we're not allowed to call it festival.
Wow, amazing. Well, either way, it's going to be fabulous. And from, as I've been journeying along sort of this over the last, few weeks, I've been really kind of humbled and honored to be invited to be a part of this, and B, to be a part of something that is like a first in this country, right? So tell us a little bit about these firsts that are
Well,
happening.
I think, it's a first based on a lot of past. So it's not like a whole lot of people had a good idea. It's like a whole lot of people have been living this life for so very long, and yourself included. So I feel like at the moment we're at a point in the world where we're really trying to define what wellness actually is, or redefine. Wellness has been through a lot of different morphologies over the last few decades, and we're at that point where we really have started to understand that it doesn't happen in a void. It's got absolutely nothing to do with you feeling, healthy and strong and having good pecs and having good digestion and a great, no headaches and being able to see clearly by yourself. It's not you getting well in a void. It's you interacting in a way that's incredibly healthy and robust and reciprocal with your community and with nature and with this planet and with every political process that's going on. It's about living a really full life. I often think of the Ananda Margis, who even back in the 70s were saying, you're not fully actualized unless you're really contributing to yourself, contributing to your family, your community, and then the wider planet. And then that's living a full human life. So I think that now the zeitgeist, or the way that people think about wellness, is swinging around to that much more global kind of concept of what wellness is. So yes, you're right, it's a first, because there's a lot of amazing thinkers coming to this festival, and people who've devoted their life to developing a concept and an idea and a vision of what really being well is for all of us together, not alone. Yeah.
Yes, I really love that. I love how it feels in my body when I receive the energy that you transmit when you speak about it. How, and it's almost like not almost, but literally, I feel like past lifetimes are perhaps aligning in this present moment as well, and bringing to it this richness, this togetherness of all the knowledge that we've held for the longest time to now, because it's now ready to be birthed or rebirthed, and available to the larger sort of collective, and perhaps even just the collective consciousness. Even if people can't attend, they can still receive more of this beautiful intention and remembering and energy that's available to all of us now. It's really lovely.
I think, you know, what this this gathering has, which no other gathering has really had in this area of action, is that it happens in the hot springs. So we're actually bathing in the blood, if you want, of this earth. You know, it's hot water that rises up and bubbles up and supports everybody, and it's just magical to be able to have all these incredible thinkers or yoga practitioners or breathwork therapists or storytellers, and then to go, and then jump into hot water, integrate it, get out again and do the next thing. You know, it's a really, really embodied kind of experience that's going to be available for people who come. 12 hours, a lot can happen in 12 hours. So it runs 9:30 in the morning. We start with a beautiful beautiful welcome to country. What I love about those hot springs is that they were built slowly and in real time. You know, they were built with a lot of understanding and cross-fertilization and a lot of input from local Aboriginal Bunwarong community. So they weren't just some kind of imposition on the landscape. They were something that was built into the landscape as a way of healing the land, as a way of healing the people that came to that land. So really, really a very reciprocal way of approaching what's been created there. And it continues to be like that. You know, it's certainly, it just feels really, really nurturing all round to be there.
Oh, it's just, I don't even, I mean, you and I have already spoken prior to going live, but I don't quite have the words to explain how drawn I am to this energy and how much I can't wait. Like, there's such a magnetic buzz around this whole thing for me. And I'm really looking forward to it. So tell us a little bit about, just to sort of expand that magnetic field, if you will. Tell us a little bit about how SoulAdvisor maybe got involved with this. How did this partnership manifest?
Well, that was kind of an organic process, as all good processes are. You know, it wasn't. It happened because it was always going to happen like that, is my short answer to that. And I feel, so Chris, who is the festival organizer, Chris Decker, he and I have been close friends for 40 years now. He started Earth Dance through Europe and around the world and did incredible work. I've been working on the bigger picture of yoga for a long, long, long time, but we've always kind of cross-correlated with different things. So he wanted to ground this in the hot springs. The person, Bharat, who you've met by Zoom anyway, Bharat, who runs Organic India, is a very close friend of Chris's and a colleague, and they put together something that was truly incredible called Uplift Festival for about 3 years up in Byron Bay. That festival, I don't know, hopefully many of your listeners have been to festivals before and know what happens at festivals. They're always magic, but the Uplift festivals were incredible. They were incredible because they really tapped into a strong seam of First Nations up in the Bundjalung area, Byron Bay area. They were incredible because they brought outstanding speakers from all around the globe, and they attracted people spontaneously that were just able to contribute such ground shifting things. I could tell you a story. I don't know if we've got time, but I'll try and make it really, really brief. So, I think it was the second or third Uplift Festival that I attended up there. There was a moment when these two gentlemen arrived, and they were fully dressed. It was Byron. It was November, right? Hot. They're fully dressed in llama cloaks and pointy hats and these incredible leggings, etc., etc. And their movement around the globe had been such that they were moving gridding crystals in all the important points around the world, so changing the morphic field of the planet. So they'd been in Mount Fuji, they'd been, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they'd been to Uluru, and now they came to Mount Warning, where the local Bundjalung community welcomed them in and did ceremony for several weeks.
Wow.
They were told by spirit that it was necessary to ground this into a community, and so they came down the hill and came into the festival on Saturday afternoon, and the whole thing stopped, and the festival was done with little bits of string and interesting kind of, I don't know what was going on, it's not my culture to know, but it was an incredible moment where everybody in the festival just stopped anything that was on the agenda and came into a big room and did festival together. And then it was what happened afterwards that was truly phenomenal, because rather, off we went to, what had to happen at 3:30 and 4 p.m., et cetera, but rather than people doing what they always do, if I'm Bruce Lipton, I do a certain thing. If I'm Cate Petersen, I do a certain thing. It's, I've got a thing that I give. But it was just all of these people suddenly entered real time. So no matter which room you went into, I was hearing, well, we were going to do this, but it's really important to talk about this right now. This is what was. So it was just like this activation happened. Yeah. So what I'm saying is there's a magic around what these men create, Bharat and Chris together. And I feel very privileged that as somebody who's been instrumental in SoulAdvisor to be able to be there representing what we do. So SoulAdvisor, for those who don't know, was set up by an incredible woman, Elaine Ewan, who literally had a download that she had to create something like TripAdvisor for therapists to give us all our voice. So you were saying this might have been lifetimes in fruition. You're right. It's a primarily female preoccupation, health, this kind of level of wellness and health and connection and spirit. Of course, there's men involved, but there's a lot more women. And so, as we all know, we've been through centuries of being lambasted and told not to, and told that we're crazy, and told that intuition is way down the scale in comparison to logic, etc., etc. So that continues. We need all of us together now and bring about what has to happen next. And that's happening despite ourselves. But something like this festival allows us to come together, men and women who can feel and experience what's going on, and to really heighten that field, I guess, of positive change. Couldn't be a better time to do it.
I couldn't agree more. I've been observing it through my life, but also, through, my journey, but it's over the last, I would say probably solid about 2006-07 when I really felt it kick in, take a, then working into 2012, and then since then, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been incredible. Look, I first started to learn how to meditate when I was 18 in 1989, and back in 1989, meditation and yoga were for gurus and for those in cults, right? So a lot has changed since then. It's really fascinating.
Yeah, we've seen shifts, haven't we, even in our time within therapies. I think I started meditating when I was 15, and then it was way out there as a thing to do. And I remember becoming a masseuse at 17 and people expecting happy endings. And then,
yes. Oh my God.
A masseuse. And I, because I grew up in that era, and that's what I was talking about. I remember I said to somebody recently, how long have you been a masseuse? And she hung up on me, basically. She was just like, did you just say masseuse? I'm a massage therapist. And I was like, well, sorry, no.
Right. Yeah. Right. Got
So
it.
what I'm saying is that things have changed a lot in terms of the amount of respect and understanding that we have, for sure. And SoulAdvisor's role in this world is to bring to light all these different therapies and to help people understand that these are really valid choices, backed up by science, backed up by the research that we require these days. And they're there. We've done the research. We know that iridology is based on science. We understand that naturopathy is incredible. We see what Bowen therapy is capable of, etc., etc. So, this whole shaming and blaming and naming and separating of, I'm a medical therapist and you're a non-medical therapist, I'm a complementary therapist, but you're an allied therapist. It's a whole person. It's a whole health system.
Yes. Yeah. So I would like to invite you to talk to the audience a little bit about how the day's going to work, what's going to be available, so that they sort of have like an audio program represented to them.
Look, it's a one day. So how much can you fit in a day? The first half of the day from 9:30 following the welcome is devoted to some incredible presenters. Shiva Rea is on stage. She's one of the, she's an incredible yoga practitioner. So, and then we've got Bruce Lipton, who probably most of your viewers know of. So he's, continues to do outstanding work in helping people marry scientific understanding to what they're experiencing. So they're presenting. There's a panel. There's a number of other yoga therapists. So it's kind of a bit of talk, a bit of yoga, a bit of talk, a bit of yoga. But it all happens in this incredible amphitheater called the Food Bowl. So the Food Bowl's massive. It can hold over 1,500, 1,800 people. There's big kind of terraces where you'll bring your yoga mat. So everybody's asked to bring their own yoga mat. There are a few there, but best to bring your own. Lay it down and watch and listen and stretch and bend. So in between all these terraces are vegetables growing. So the whole thing is very verdant, beautiful. And we look out over the lagoon to the stage where everybody's presenting. So it's an incredibly immersive and gorgeous environment. The presenters are presenting there, and then you look out over the hills behind them. So very potent, I guess. There's a whole lot of activations. For example, there's an aromatherapy distillation, which is up on the glass house on this side. And there's go and visit Wanderlust and talk to all their amazing crew in another area. Yoga Hive, we're doing, let me see if I can show you. Show and tell's always good. So Yoga Hive is all about the role that yoga plays in this society. We're presenting this incredible sugar bag honey from native bees and talking about what that's all about. We're theming it up around bees, basically, and the hive. And then where you are and where all the therapists are, there's the most amazing array of therapists to come and visit and book in for and just do something for yourself. Like it's a day where we're coming together, we're experiencing and talking about what could be and what should be, and then having that experience of embodying and coming back and being nurtured and talking through things or held or doing whatever therapy is available, and there's a lot, is a really good thing. So yeah. And then there's the clay ridge where you can paint ochre all over your body and lie in the sun and feel happen, diving in the hot pools, going down to the other amphitheater where there's a whole different range of people presenting. There's Waiapa work, which is an Indigenous modality of connecting people to country happening there, and all kinds of beautiful soft yogas and breath works. And then up behind where you'll be, there's a sensory dome where you can go and do kirtan and sound healing and just immerse yourself in that kind of healing energy too. So it's not like there's going to be nothing to do. There's a marketplace there with really interesting stalls. A lot going on.
Okay.
And we have musicians the whole night. So Mama Kin's and a whole lot of beautiful musicians. Yeah.
So there's going to be some dancing too.
There'll be dancing. Don't you worry
Oh
about that.
yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm up for some dancing.
Good. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things, so I've already enclosed, I don't know if I said this, I think I said it to you, but not to the audience. I've already enclosed the description and the relevant links in the comments so people can book their tickets, and they can also pre-book any sessions they want to have with practitioners if they want to have a massage or any one of the things that you talked about, including booking a session with me as well, transformation guide, which is, a combination of spiritual guidance and mentoring and, professional counseling, etc. So, people can go ahead and pre-book those things, or you can wait until you're there and see how it sits for you, how where you are called to go and what you are called to experience. Either or is really great. Anything you want to add to that?
I just love where we're actually doing it. Those domes are so nurturing in themselves. So, it'll feel like you're in the festival, but you're out of the festival. Like you've got a safe skin over you. And, we've got iridologists, Ayurvedic therapists. We've got people doing shiatsu as in addition to the work that you're offering. So personal qigong, personal yoga therapy. But the great joy of the therapists that we've pulled together is like you, they've had decades of experience. It's not like a whole lot of newcomers to the field. So you'll really be held if you come and experience the Awaken Wellness Village.
Yeah. It's really, it's really solid, like solid in every way, like in every direction of space and time, even before we get into the multidimensionality in terms of energy. So it's really solid. It's like you've talked about, backed by science, but also, wise in terms of ancestral wisdom that's been remembered and pulled and manifested into this present time. Just really solid in every way, and expansive and infinite. It's healing. Wonderful. Okay. Now, is there anything else that we need people to know with regards to the day itself?
Practically, it would be good to book relatively early. They're very strict about the number of people that can dive into those pools at any one time. So there's 2 tiers of tickets. There's a more expensive ticket at $180, and then there's the smaller ticket at $110. $180 allows you to bathe. $110, you'll need to buy a bathing ticket if you get there and want to bathe. So I strongly suggest, if anybody's out there and thinking about it, that the $180 ticket's the go because it's so tempting once you're there. And just practically, not really. It's a very held experience. It really is, There's lots of places that you can stop and eat and rest under trees. And if you're bathing, then when you go there, you strip off and you put your bathing suit on and you put a robe on. So there'll be a lot of people walking around in robes. So relaxed, it's barefoot.
I love that so much. Yeah,
it's just super really relaxed and beautiful. And we're really looking forward to having a yummy crowd there, actually.
Yes. I have a feeling that there's going to be lots of smiling and lots of random explosions of love and hugs.
I'm sure. Don't you worry about that.
No. I'm looking forward to embracing that.
This is magical. So we'll be doing tastings. Come to the Yoga Hive tent and experience this in the Wellness Village. Yeah. Incredible.
That's
stuff.
Amazing. Okay.
A day of healing.
Okay. So, where will you be?
1,000 places at once.
Okay. So you're okay.
I'll be at the Wellness Village, and we've got a lovely crew there that's going to meet and greet people. So anybody that's coming for treatment, then we'll ask them to come to the SoulAdvisor tent, and then we'll suggest where they can go and how they can go. And there's next to us is Organic India. They're doing tea tastings all day, so that'll be yum too, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just a matter of wandering and playing and just feeling into it. There'll be a lot of kind of spontaneous random bits and pieces happening as well that aren't even on the agenda. So
okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm really happy to sort of go with the flow, and I'm really looking forward to just, being open to everything on the day, of course. Okay. I'm just kind of putting out the feelers and okay, so I'm hearing a question. Can their tickets be bought on the day?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they can. Absolutely. And I think that a good number will be, because we're so used to not being sure of things through the COVID changes that we've all been through. Definitely tickets can be bought on the day. There's still availability. If you wake up in the morning and think, I got to go.
Fair enough. Yeah. And one more question, just with regards to, just going to an event in general and for the sake of audience, it's going ahead regardless of weather, anything, right?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, okay. There's a lot of wet weather venues, so no, that'll be fine. Weather won't stop you there. Yeah.
Okay. And I don't know if I have anything else that I want to ask per se. But I would like to say, just from me to whoever's listening to this, that it feels to me like there's a really important, not just an individual opening of the higher heart chakra or like this center, right? Just not just for a person, for an individual, but it's important because it will help activate further collective consciousness. So with that intention, it feels like it's important to say that so that people really understand the nature of this gathering, right? Because we're calling it a gathering and not a festival.
Well done.
Yeah. So that feels important to say, and that it's being part of your, everyone's being invited to be part of this, community. Yes.
True. It's a communal adventure. That's what it is. And, it's part of setting sail for higher ground, which is where we're all going. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it will offer immeasurable, I guess, benefits then, for people individually, but the ripple effect of that communion, the community coming together is much wider than just, I'm going to a festival. It's so much more than that.
So much more. It's not just a festival. That's for sure. All festivals are precious. When people come gather to uplift their spirits, then that's the most precious thing that can possibly happen. There's not enough of it. But, this is like that times a lot. Like we're really, it's something that's coming together with so much good intention and so much skill, and in such a held manner, that I think it's one of those unmissable events. That's how I feel about it. I love what we've created, and I love what we're bringing together. It's absolutely a communal adventure. It's certainly not just somebody's clever idea. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, on that note, are there any other closing statements that we need to make, Cate?
See you there. Everybody.
See you there.
And if you haven't been to the Mornington Peninsula, it's spectacular. It's just such a beautiful bit of coastline, which I hadn't really discovered not until we put this together. Yes, and we've put this together a few times now because COVID intervened, so we had to several times. So it's really gathered strength and will be a magnificent event. Yeah.
It was so interesting to me. I hadn't been to Mornington Peninsula, like to the hot springs before either. But at one time, like in my other life, in my married life, when I was married a few, 20 years ago, I did this trip, a road trip around Victoria, just sort of traveled, like no plan, just traveled.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite places in Victoria country was a town called Sorrento. And when I looked on the map, I was like, oh my God, that's so close. That whole area felt so good to me all those years back. And now I'm like going back to the same sort of area. And I was really, that was one of the flags for me this was the right thing for me to do.
Yeah. It's really quite a beautiful area. I don't know how to explain. It's very hard, isn't it, often to talk about an energetic state, but it feels there's a crispness or a clarity to that area that I really love. It's beautiful.
Okay. So I think we might finish and leave this. I think we've done enough to charge and magnetize the energy even further for this event. So as per Cate's wisdom, we shall see you there shortly.
Thank you.
In about 8 days or something, whatever that is, 9 days. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just, Cate, just for you, I'm going to just play a short video in closing. It's only 20 seconds. I always play this beautiful video that I had someone put together for me that's infused with these divine diamond light codes. So I just kind of always close any podcast with this video as an offering. But if you've got a minute, just stay with me. And we'll just finish up between the two of us off air.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next Sunday. Bye for now. Bye.
Bye.